When my wife mentioned she had an upcoming work trip, I didn't think much of it at first. She'd been talking for weeks about the stress at her office and how her team often supported one another. Still, there was something off in the way she said it this time. She brought up her work husband again, a nickname she'd used before as a joke, but this time it didn't sound like she was joking. A quiet unease began to form in my gut. As the days passed, that feeling grew stronger. She seemed unusually excited about the trip, packing with a kind of energy I hadn't seen in her for years. She said it was all business, yet she carefully picked her best dresses and wore her favorite perfume, the one she usually reserved for special nights out. I didn't say anything, but deep down, doubt gnawed at me. I decided to check things myself. After a bit of quiet digging, I found the hotel where she had booked her stay, and discovered that her so-called work husband had a reservation there too. Instead of confronting her right away, I reached out to his wife. We'd met once at a company event, and I still had her number. At first, she didn't believe me, but once I showed her proof of the booking, the reality hit her as hard as it hit me. We agreed that we wouldn't just sit back and let them get away with it. We planned to confront them together, at the hotel. When the day came, we didn't storm in. We waited quietly in the lobby, pretending to be just another pair of guests. The hotel was busy, people coming and going, laughter echoing off the marble floors. Then we saw them, my wife and her colleague, walking side by side, smiling and checking in like a couple on vacation. My chest tightened, but I stayed calm. I looked at his wife. Her face was pale, her hands trembling, but her eyes burned with the same anger and resolve I felt. We approached them just as the clerk handed them their room keys. The moment they saw us, their expressions changed instantly. My wife's face went white, and he could barely speak. The noise around us seemed to fade, replaced by a heavy, suffocating silence. I didn't raise my voice or make a scene. I simply said, "It looks like you both forgot to mention your real spouses are standing right here." His wife stepped forward and added, "And you really thought we wouldn't find out?" The words hit harder than any shouting could. They stammered, trying to come up with excuses, something about teamwork and friendship, but the truth was written all over their faces. The matching luggage, the closeness between them moments earlier, it said everything. Everyone nearby could see it too. They were caught, exposed, and there was no talking their way out of it. I turned to my wife and said quietly, "If this is what you wanted, you could have just told me the truth. But the lies and betrayal end now." Her eyes filled with tears, not from guilt, but from fear of losing the comfort and stability of the life we had built together. I felt no sympathy, only a cold, firm resolve. His wife didn't hold back either. She told him straight that their marriage was finished, that he'd have to face the reality of what he'd done. He looked lost, realizing that everything he had taken for granted was crumbling in front of him. There were no more words. We left them standing there in the middle of the lobby, stripped of their excuses and dignity. As we walked away, his wife leaned toward me and whispered, "They thought they were clever, but they forgot we deserved the truth." The drive home was silent, yet my thoughts were finally clear. For years, I had ignored the signs, the subtle distance, the jokes about her so-called work husband that I convinced myself were harmless. But now I understood those jokes had been hiding something real, something that crossed a line. Later that night, she came home in tears, begging me to forgive her. She insisted it hadn't gone too far. But to me, that didn't matter anymore. Once trust is broken, there's no way back. In the weeks that followed, I turned inward, rebuilding a life where honesty meant more than keeping up appearances. The pain was deep, but it reminded me of something important. Betrayal hurts, but bringing it to light gives you back your power. My wife lost not just my trust, but the future we might have shared. And as I walked away from that chapter, I realized that sometimes, the greatest revenge is simply standing firm in the truth, at the right place, at the right moment.